for us all. But I'm more interested in knowing whether he also believes that there is a way of going to heaven like the Holy Mary.
You've made your point. I don't know how you know who was there, but Majority Leader, continue.
Honorable Speaker, you know, now the Honorable Sunkuli is inviting me into a class of theology. And because I am a Christian, member number 39 of Gikambura District of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, Reverend Musagitao PCA Church, I will invite the Honorable Sunkuli to my church during one of the cell group meetings, and I'll take him on a class on theology, so that he knows when the Bible speaks about the king is the Lord, not the earthly kings. And that also answers Honorable TJ. When the Bible speaks about banishment for the corrupt, for the sugar cartels, that is why they have been told mambo ni matatu: uhame Kenya, uende jela, ama utafute tikiti ya kwenda mbinguni. If you want to find a ticket to heaven, accept the Lord and no corruption is evil. And I want to invite the Honorable TJ, the Honorable Sunkuli, and all our other colleagues, please accept to get the ticket to heaven by not just speaking about corruption, but acting against corruption. These sugar cartels, Honorable Speaker, rode on state capture in the last regime. And Honorable Speaker, because we are talking about those three things, those three choices, Honorable Speaker, probably I would add a fourth option, that maybe it is time that we now begin to have the conversation on the establishment of a state capture commission, so that this country gets the opportunity to truly interact with what has actually bedeviled the fabric of our nation in the economic management of our resources, our national resources, Honorable Speaker. Because it is sad that as political leaders, we shout from the rooftops and shout loudly about our fight against corruption. But when it comes to acting on issues corruption, we are the first to use politics to defend the corrupt. We are the first to use state capture to advance our own selfish business interests at the expense of the greater public good, Honorable Speaker. Maybe it is time, Honorable Speaker, we began to have that conversation as a country. Because probably we have never gotten it right on the fight against corruption, because we always tend to politicize it. And I want to repeat, Honorable Speaker, those three choices are open, not to Kenyans, not to good Kenyans, not to law-abiding Kenyans, not to hard-working Kenyans, but those options are open to the corrupt, those who believe that they can use their offices in public office as state officers to enrich themselves at the expense of the people who put them in those offices, Honorable Speaker. And that is why I'm saying maybe it is time, and I want to invite the Honorable TJ to join us and other Kenyans who believe that it is time to have that conversation on state capture, and maybe establish a state capture commission. Honorable Speaker, I would have ignored what the Honorable TJ is saying, that he has no shares in that company. I do not know which company, but I know, because I can hear what he's saying from his position. He's speaking about none other than the Deputy President, who has spoken about shareholding in government. And Honorable Speaker, without defending the Deputy President, because this thing also has been taken out of context. The Deputy President indicated that You are shareholders in government, not in Kenya. Government is established by those who are elected by the people to govern. You subscribe your shares into a government by voting for that government. But you remain a Kenyan and you remain a shareholder in Kenya, including the corrupt, who we are telling they will either be banished, jail, or they will find a ticket to heaven. Whichever way they find a ticket to heaven, whether be it through salvation, be it through restitution by giving back what they have taken from the Kenyan people and seeking forgiveness from the Almighty God and the people of Kenya. You may find your way to heaven in many ways, Honorable TJ and Honorable Sunkuli. I want to beseech you, if you know those cartels, if you speak to the masters of doublespeak, the merchants of state capture, if you have a direct line to them, please tell them time is nigh. But Honorable Speaker, going back to this bill, because this bill will address some of those issues. So that, Honorable Speaker, you will remember in the last parliament, and Honorable TJ is fortunate to have been with me in the last parliament. You remember the issues to do with the Kenya shipping line. You remember the